This segment is brought to you by Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. Once again, I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And you know, when we have these programs for kids, these things that make a difference in people's lives throughout their entire life, it's always good to highlight those things. I want to talk a little bit about Ready Start Terrebonne. We have Miss Gracie Dedivo, the Act 3 coordinator. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us today.
Very welcome. All right, we had next to her Miss Michelle Miller. Michelle, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now Michelle is the Early Learning Coach, Terrebonne Parish School District.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Tell us a little bit about what that is and what you do.
Okay, so I get to work in our Type 3 daycare centers every day. We have 19 in our parish.
Wow.
I coach the teachers one-on-one. We work with curriculum, with behavior management, best practices in early childhood, and I visit our public pre-K teachers as well.
Wow, very, very cool. I love that. Thank you, Michelle. Gracie, how about you? Tell us what that Act 3 coordinator means.
So I work with the Child Care's Head Start and Public Pre-K and assist with the coaches in their schedules. We are kind of like a pass-through with the state, ensuring that observations are done, documentation is completed, and reported to the State Department.
Very cool. And I love the fact that it's done through the state. And the reason is because that Mary Landrieu, when she was a senator, raised money and funds for the original programs years ago. And so I was a local social worker at the time. And we did a lot of work and help and educating, and that was a really good thing, and spreading the word. So that was really, really cool. So I like that. And so now we've got Ready Start Terrebonne. So Gracie, tell us a little bit about what Ready Start Terrebonne is and how it came to be.
All right, so Ready Start Terrebonne overall is a resource for families and for our early childhood education programs. So we work with our child cares that are type 3, which means they accept child care assistance. We also work with public pre-K and Head Start.
Wow.
We also communicate with families and help ensure that they get the best care possible and find out what their needs are to help meet their needs.
Right.
And then we also are working in our community to build the awareness of the importance of early care and education, not only as an education and family issue, but also a workforce and economy issue.
Yeah. Well, listen, nobody ever really teaches parents how to do things, especially when we have somebody that maybe there are some challenges in the family or some challenges with the child. We're not really taught that. All we know is what our family taught us before. So these programs are so very needed. Tell us what the mission is for Ready to Start.
All right, so our mission is, of course, to continue working in our classrooms to increase the quality of the interactions. We use child care assistance as an avenue for families to find funding to help cover the cost of that child care. We have our coaches that are going out and working, and the whole goal is to prepare kids for kindergarten.
Right.
And then we also do supply curriculum and materials and those sorts of things to those sites so that they can have the materials needed to provide that quality care.
Yeah, and we see those gaps. You guys really just bridge that gap, right? That's really the big thing, is bridging the gap with the resources. I love it. So how does it work with the child care centers? That's a little different.
Yeah, so child care centers, we know that they are private businesses. So they have opted into our program because they are open to taking those funds to cover the cost for child cares. So they are working alongside the pre-K and Head Start programs to prepare those children. But with doing that, there also are added responsibilities on those child cares, like those observations and documenting the growth of the kids and those sorts of things. So it's a little bit more of a requirement for them when they are type 3 and accept that child care assistance versus being a type 1 or type 2.
Gotcha. And so where do the funds come from? Who's funding the program?
Okay, so again, the child cares are definitely private-owned businesses, so some of those children are paid for through tuition through families.
Okay.
However, child care assistance is something that we did mention. Families can apply online to see if they're eligible to qualify for that funding to help cover that cost. Unfortunately for families, the waiting list to receive
Kinda long.
those funds is about 2 years.
Wow.
So it's definitely been a barrier for a lot of families in our community to access that funding. So a lot of our child cares do have openings, available seats for families. However, our families are still on waiting lists because they can't afford the seats because
Right.
they are waiting on that support.
Yeah.
So we are working as Ready Start Network to try to raise awareness, and we have created a fund to hopefully help bridge that gap of that financial assistance so families can return to the workforce.
Yeah, and we need that. And then, quite frankly, the people that can afford it, we take the donations,
Excellent.
help out. And so that's how people can really help and how businesses can help as well. And so last thought, talking about the Ready Start Works and early learning centers and all pre-K and Head Start, you're working on building the fund. And anything else Ready Start does?
So besides building our fund, we are working with families and our newest adventure is going into our parent pathway sessions.
Right.
Our first one is coming up soon, but we hope to make them quarterly.
Okay, very good. So we're looking forward to that. So I apologize, Michelle. One of those things where we took up a lot of time. We're going to do this again and talk a whole lot more about what's going on with your stuff as well. And so really neat program, really excited. If people want to donate, what do they do?
They can go to the Bayou Community Foundation
Right.
and choose the Ready Start Early Education Fund to be able to donate and be eligible for that tax deduction.
Tax deduction, very cool. I like it. All right, ladies, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back right here in this edition of Bayou Time, so don't go anywhere.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne Ford. Built Ford tough.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. I'm very glad to have Miss Gracie and Miss Michelle back with us talking about the Ready Start program. And so, Gracie, thank you so very much for laying down the groundwork about what this is and what people can do and how they can contribute and the value of that program. And so now, Michelle, I'd like to talk a little bit about this parent pathway and where the orientation or the creation of it came from.
Okay, sure. So our early childhood department with the school district is really focusing on parental involvement, parental engagement, and we want to make sure we're giving our community members, our parents, the resources, the information that they need to give their children the best start in life. And we know that, age birth to 5, it's those foundational years, extremely critical and important. And so we want to share what we know, what we have been learning with them, and help them implement maybe a few healthy habits at home to kind of set them up for success straight off the bat.
Well, listen, developmental psychologists have said that our personality is actually developed by age 5.
Yeah,
And so when
absolutely.
we give that support and that education to them and the parents know how to really support that and bring that out, kids get to kind of know who they are, and it really sets them up to be successful later in life.
does.
You're exactly right. And so there we go, a happy kid right there with a parenting class. So let's talk about some of the goals of the class when it comes to the child development in the early years.
Okay, so our first parent pathway, which is going to be next week, has a heavy focus on screen time. So we've really been researching the effects of screen time on developing brains. And, of course, we live in a really technology-driven world. We have to adapt with it. But we're really seeing some negative effects. Too much screen time early on really has some lasting impacts that we're seeing in our young kids in the parish. So we really want to share some information about screen time. We're also going to talk about some other healthy habits, concrete sleep routines, exercise and play, and just family connection in general. That's what we're seeing with this kind of access screen time is we're losing that social connection and that family connection. So that's what we're going to focus on for the first class.
Okay, very good. Jay, put that up one more time. As Michelle was saying that, it was just got me thinking, it's going to be October the 28th from 12 to 1.
Yes, sir.
And so you guys are really going to be able to help people. And people can register. They can use the QR code right there on your screen. You can do it right there. Or you can call 985-879-6400. Or you can go to their website at readystartterrebonne.org. And so a lot of information there. And so let's talk about who this class is really designed for.
Okay, sure. So this class is open to any parent or caregiver. We are going to have an emphasis on children age birth to 5. We're talking about those early foundational years, but anyone who is raising young children, caring for young children, we invite them to come. Any, parents in our daycare centers, our pre-Ks, or the caregivers themselves, we hope to see them there. The class is completely free. So we just want to get this information out, and we want to help our community. We feel like when people know better, they do better. And so it's sort of our mission to just help spread awareness and, help us kind of relearn some things that maybe we don't know anymore.
I know that's right. We always need a little bit of an update. My son's 37. I still need some updates about how to parent. And so that's at 12 noon, and it's going to be at the West Park Special Education and Federal Center.
Yes, sir.
Right? Very cool. Because, I remember it when it was a school, right?
Yeah, it was a school.
And so now, for me, it always resonates about education. And that's really what it's about. But what else can people expect when they go?
Okay, it's going to be a really casual meeting. They can expect it to last about an hour.
Right.
We are going to provide lunch.
Yeah.
We're going to have some goodie bags with some books, maybe some educational things for them to take home to their children. But just expect some good information. We are here as support. We want to build a little networking community, hopefully meet some other parents with children the same age as yours. Just a way to connect and kind of band together and try to learn some new things.
I like it. And so we're trying to move forward and trying to help educate people. What about if your child's a toddler? Do we want to bring those, or we want to help parents with their toddlers?
Absolutely. Bring your toddlers. That's where we can really make a big impact. We have a few people registered for the class who are just pregnant. They don't have children yet. But the sooner you know these things, the better. We can start implementing these healthy habits from day one. But I do want to add that if you maybe have a 3 or 4-year-old and you're thinking, oh gosh, we watch too much TV, it's never too late to make a few changes. So please still come.
Right.
You can make, a few healthy changes anytime.
And listen, I got to tell you, watching my nieces and nephews, all who have children, all with young children, I see the volume of time that the kids spend on these children's iPads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or these children's screens. And not only are they having screen time at home, but they have screen time everywhere they go. And we've seen some kind of negative impacts. We certainly know about the decline or the degradation, if you will, of social skills. And we want to make a difference now.
Absolutely.
We want to make a difference when it's early, and we can do something about it. So, Jay, I want to put the flyer up one more time. I want people to know this is a free event. Topics of discussion will be screen time, some different sleep routines, which we all need to know about, some healthy habits, and certainly correction and how to help parent. Right? And how to educate what people need to do to correct their kids and how to do that in a healthy way. You get to register by going in there. You can call the 879-6400. Use the QR code. It's going to take place October 28th from 12 to 1 at 7573 Park Avenue, which is also the West Park Special Education and Federal Center. And so really exciting.
Yeah, we're
And
excited.
so I love the fact that we have some pregnant women that are going.
Yes,
Us too.
absolutely.
Really cool.
We
I
are.
hope their partners go with them.
Yeah.
Right? Because we as guys need to learn how
Learn all the
correction
things, yeah.
goes. It's not just mom's job to be able to do those things. And so
Yeah.
whomever your partner is, you want to bring them. Michelle, thank you and for doing this and being excited about that, really excited about the pathway that y'all are working on. And Michelle, thanks for telling us everything we need to know about this new program. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. We're
You got
excited
it.
about it.
Very cool. All right, guys, thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate it. And it'll do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. But don't go anywhere. We got a whole lot more right here on HTV.
This segment was brought to you by Rouse's Markets. Feels like home.